Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. At this point, we have seen a lot of Zer-Torque putters be released in 2025 from companies like Lab, as well as TaylorMade and Odyssey, from PXG, from Bettinardi, from Evenroll. Numerous different Zer-Torque putters have been released, but there's one company that is conspicuously absent when it comes to the world of Zer-Torque putters. Scotty Cameron. But that doesn't mean that there aren't Zer-Torque putters out there made by Scotty Cameron and used by Titleist staff players. Which begs the question, if there are Zer-Torque putters out there that Scotty Cameron has made and that are in the bags of some PGA Tour players, why haven't they been released at retail? And should we have reason to believe that maybe in 2026 we will see some Scotty Cameron Zer-Torque putters? Let me show you what I have seen inside the ropes at PGA Tour events and what I have learned about what Scotty might have in mind. Okay, so this golf bag right here belongs to Ben On. He has been on the PGA Tour for a number of years, and you can see that he has a broomstick style putter leaning up against that golf bag. And upon closer inspection, you can see that this broomstick putter is not only center shafted, but the shaft goes into the head well behind the top line. That is an indication that this putter may very well be a Zer-Torque putter. Now, Ben told me over the summer when I had a chance to talk with him about this putter that it was made for him specifically by Scotty Cameron. He had previously been playing a Lab lie angle balanced putter and had been using it for a long time, that Scotty Cameron basically made this putter for him to the exact length, the weight specifications, everything that he had wanted from his Lab putter was designed by Scotty Cameron and his team into this specific putter right here. And this is a little bit better look right down the shaft at exactly what Ben On sees when he looks down at this putter. Now, he told me that he doesn't really feel a big difference in the way that this putter swings and the way it works compared with the Lab putter that he had been using previously, because it is Zer-Torque. This putter is designed when he uses it to keep the face square to the path of his putting stroke, just like his lie angle balanced Lab putter did. However, as you can see, there are shape differences between this putter and the traditional Lab putters that we have seen coming out so far. Now, to me, this putter looks like a modified or a prototype version of a Phantom 11 putter. It has the sort of distinctive shaping and styling, the extended wings and the heel and the toe area. But when you take a look at it, there are a couple things that make it unique, or certainly different than the standard Phantom 11. And primarily, it's going to be the positioning of that shaft into the middle of the head, about an inch or so behind the center of the top line. Now, one of the biggest differences, however, On told me, between the Scotty Cameron Zer-Torque putter that he started using back in April and the Lab putter that he had been using previously is the feel at the moment of impact. The Scotty Cameron has a milled stainless steel front to it. So when he is making contact with the ball with this one, it feels like a traditional Scotty Cameron putter would. That's a stainless steel, probably 303 stainless steel that has clearly been milled. You can see the circle T sort of in the front heel section there. And most Lab putters, except for the Oz 1i or the Oz 1i HS, the new ones, the Oz 1i's have an insert that is stainless steel, but the one that On had been using is aluminum. So this Scotty Cameron putter should feel much firmer. It should create a higher pitch sound at the moment of impact, and it'll give you a traditional milled putter feel. And taking a closer look at it, I would suspect that the front section that you can sort of see right here is in fact made, as I said, out of 303 stainless steel or some type of a heavier stainless steel to push the weight forward, to get that center of gravity location forward. And I suspect that the brighter silver section that is underneath and extends back away from the hitting area out into the back heel and toe, that is most likely going to be aluminum. They've used quite a bit of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum in sections where they're trying to save weight. So using the stainless steel, which is a heavier material, in the front and in the middle, you can see it's very symmetrical in this look. That would help to create the Zer-Torque condition that you would be looking for in this type of a putter. Again, having that shaft go directly into the head over where the center of gravity location is, that's really the key to creating a Zer-Torque putter. And so all of that extra high silver or sort of silver tone stuff in the back, the lighter color, I suspect is going to be aluminum. The bottom of Ben On's putter just simply says the word prototype underneath the word Scotty Cameron. There's a circle T with a crown and some dots on there, and we can see that there are weights in the heel and the toe area there. Those weights, typically in Scotty Cameron putters, are there to allow fitters to change the swing weight of the club based on the club's length. So in the case of Ben On's putter, which is going to be extremely long, a broomstick style putter, you would go with very light weights to keep the swing weight down. If it were traditional length putter, say 34 or 35 inches, you would go with heavier weights compared with what you would see in a broomstick. A shorter putter, say like 32 or 33 inches, would get the heavier weights. And that would basically normalize out the swing weight across the way, but very flat, very plain, really not a lot to see here, except I do notice that there are a couple of bolts that are right behind the leading edge. And that would, again, lead me to believe that this putter is basically created by bolting in the two pieces, a stainless steel section on the top and an aluminum section on the bottom. You can see those bolts in the front, as well as a pair of bolts in the back that would hold or affix this putter's two parts into place. At the same event, I also had an opportunity to see this putter right here. This is a putter that is clearly, in my mind, a Zer-Torque Scotty Cameron putter, and it was simply found leaning against one of the bags where samples and demo putters were available to players on the practice green. You can see from a look standpoint, it is very similar to the Ben On mallet putter. This one is labeled, however, as a T-11 putter. So again, probably some type of Phantom 11 prototype that is using a combination of both stainless steel and aluminum. You can see, again, that shaft going in behind the top line into what I presume is right around the center of gravity location. That 2 degree symbol probably indicating that it has 2 degrees of forward shaft lean. And if you do notice, that is a graphite shaft going into the head of that Circle T Scotty Cameron prototype putter. Again, we see that it's going to have a stainless steel face, a milled stainless steel face. That is going to be different from some of the other putters out there. And again, here is a look at the prototype Scotty Cameron graphite shaft that is on this putter. This is a traditional length putter. I'm guessing either a 34 or a 35 inch length model right here, but as you can see, it does definitely create an onset condition where the face of the putter is going to be well ahead of where the shaft goes in, unlike a lot of Scotty Cameron putters where the hosel mechanism is going to go down and back, that sort of classic plumber's neck. This one you're going to get onset, so the face is towards the target side of where the shaft enters into the head. Now, moving on here, this is a photograph of Gary Woodland, who is using another Scotty Cameron putter that certainly appears like it would be a Zer-Torque model, hitting some putts, working on the quality of his stroke. I had a chance to capture a little bit of video of Gary working on his stroke. We have not seen a Zer-Torque putter in the bag of golfers like Jordan Spieth or Justin Thomas, or any number of Titleist's most elite staff players. But there clearly are Zer-Torque Scotty Cameron putters out there on the PGA Tour at this point, which means that should the company want to bring one to retail, obviously they can do that. There are Zer-Torque putters out there from Scotty Cameron. They have the technology, they have designs that they clearly like. They're getting tour feedback from players. The idea or the concept of tour validation is something that's really critical for every brand out there, especially for brands like Titleist that work with some of the best players in the world. They want feedback from players out there on tour before they bring products to retail. It's something that's a really important part of the whole process. I don't think you would ever see a Scotty Cameron putter available in your pro shop that wasn't at first available to pros on the PGA Tour in order to elicit their feedback and to find out what they think about it. So all this leads me to think that we certainly could see a Zer-Torque Scotty Cameron putter at some point in 2026. Obviously, the putters have been designed and made. They are out there on the PGA Tour and available for players to test and for players to give feedback back to the Scotty Cameron team. It's just a matter of the Cameron folks decided that they want to push the button, which could be a playbook really right out of the Apple way of doing business. Obviously, Apple was not the first company that made a smartphone, but when it introduced the iPhone, it completely revolutionized the game. I'm not saying that the Scotty Cameron folks are going to be revolutionizing the game when it comes to zero-torque putters, but by sitting back and basically observing the market for about the last 2 or 3 years and seeing obviously that zero-torque putters have become a major force and probably the hottest category in the golf equipment world right now, they're able to take a look at what has worked for certain companies, what has maybe not worked as well for certain companies, get feedback from tour professionals and from golfers who are interested in the technology, and then wrap that up into something that is the Scotty Cameron version of the Zer-Torque story, that is going to feel and look like a Scotty Cameron putter, that's going to behave like a Zer-Torque model that players seem to be gravitating towards. Putting all of that together could create a really potent package, not only for the world's best players, but also certainly at the retail. And that's one of the other things that I think would certainly be interesting to watch, is that zero-torque putters tend to be pricey. Most of them are at least $350 or more, and significantly more when you get into more customized models. Scotty Cameron putters right now, the mallets are retailing for somewhere between $425 and $450. The blades, the classic Newports that are out there now, are again going in that really high price range. So I don't think that the Scotty Cameron zero-torque option would scare away anybody when it came to the price. And a matter of fact, it actually feeds right into, in my opinion, the narrative around Scotty Cameron, which is it's an aspirational brand. It's a brand that people strive to own, that they're going to cherish and really hold on to. That's always been the place where Scotty Cameron excels. So it looks like the brand may be getting all of its ducks in a row before it brings out its initial offering. But again, I don't know exactly when that's going to be. I don't know what the offering is going to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the months to come, possibly in early 2026, and maybe in the summer of 2026, if we do see a Scotty Cameron zero-torque putter finally brought out to retail. So I would be fascinated to know if you are somebody who would be interested in trying a zero-torque Scotty Cameron putter. Have you tried other zero-torques out there but are waiting for a Scotty? Is this something that would interest you in the least? Drop a comment in the comment area below and let me know what you think. I am really curious to hear what everybody here on YouTube thinks about the concept of a Scotty Cameron zero-torque putter. And if I can answer any questions for you with regard to zero-torque or putters in general, or any kind of golf equipment, I'm here to be a resource for you to help you get the best performing golf equipment for you into your bag. So if you got some good information out of this video, if you found it to be kind of interesting, it would also really help me if you would smash that like button as well as subscribe to my channels. It's really a big help. So thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon.